for 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. Star Elizabeth Pothurst, life has never been short of twists and turns. Fans have watched her journey unfold over the years, from her whirlwind romance with Moldovan native Andrei Kastravit to the ongoing struggles of balancing marriage, motherhood, and family drama. But Season 9 of Happily Ever After presents perhaps her most daunting challenge yet, the possibility of uprooting her life in Florida and moving halfway across the world to Moldova, her husband's homeland. And while Andrei is eager to return to his European roots, Elizabeth seems less certain. Recently, the reality star left Florida, but not to pack up and move overseas just yet. Instead, she set off on a different kind of adventure, a solo trip to North Carolina with her best friend, seeking sun, seafood, and perhaps some much-needed clarity. As her Instagram stories showed her basking in the Outer Banks, wine glass in hand and the ocean breeze in her hair, it was clear that Elizabeth was enjoying her rare, kid-free moment. But was this more than just a relaxing vacation? Was this her way of stepping back to reflect, or to escape? Caught between two worlds. Since Andrei came to the US in 2017 and eventually became a citizen, he's built a life with Elizabeth that, at least from the outside, looks idyllic. The two married in a lavish ceremony and now share two beautiful children. But in Andrei's heart, Moldova has never stopped calling. He's made no secret of his desire to raise their children closer to his family and culture, a dream Elizabeth has been less enthusiastic about. Fans have seen her express hesitation about moving so far from everything she's ever known. Her entire life, her identity, her family, even if strained at times, are rooted in the US. But she's also shown an open mind, agreeing to visit Moldova before making a final decision. Still, the strain is palpable. On screen, Elizabeth has hinted that the constant pressure from Andrei has left her feeling overwhelmed. Behind the smiles and occasional playful bickering, the cultural differences, and Andrei's sometimes controlling demeanor, seem to weigh on her. It's not hard to see why the thought of moving to Moldova feels daunting for her. Aside from leaving behind her own family, she'd also have to adjust to a whole new way of life. While Andrei sees Moldova as home, to Elizabeth, it's still a foreign land, and one where she may struggle to carve out her own identity. A journey to herself. Perhaps that's why her trip to North Carolina felt like more than just a beach vacation. Her Instagram captions told part of the story, POV, "You're kid-free and a guest for a few days," and the hashtag #AlonaTime, suggested that this trip wasn't just about enjoying seafood and sunshine, it was about reclaiming a little piece of herself. Elizabeth has always been seen as a devoted mother and wife. Fans have praised her patience, her ability to juggle it all while navigating Andrei's sometimes brash personality. But in North Carolina, she allowed herself to step into a different role, just Elizabeth. Not mom, not wife, not the daughter who doesn't get along with her siblings. Just her. Pictures showed her laughing with her friend over a beautifully arranged charcuterie board, sipping white wine in the warm summer light. In another shot, she stretched out in a lounge chair, toes in the sand, her skin glowing in the late afternoon sun. There was something undeniably empowering about these images, a woman who knows she deserves joy, who knows she needs to breathe before making a life-altering decision. It's also possible that her trip was a quiet but firm statement to Andrei, that she needed space. And perhaps a subtle reminder that she is her own person, with her own needs, her own fears, and her own dreams. A strong, but imperfect love. Elizabeth and Andrei's relationship has always been a lightning rod for debate among fans. Some admire their chemistry and their ability to weather storms together. Others have criticized Andrei for his domineering behavior and questioned whether Elizabeth has enough of a voice in their marriage. The truth, as it often is, probably lies somewhere in between. Since their marriage in 2017, they've navigated more challenges than most couples face in a lifetime: culture clashes, family feuds, financial stress, and now the question of where to raise their children. Through it all, they've stayed together, and they do seem genuinely in love. But even the strongest marriages have cracks. And sometimes, taking a step back is the healthiest thing a spouse can do, to think, to breathe, and to rediscover what they really want. Elizabeth's solo getaway may have been exactly that, a chance to find her own footing before being swept up in Andrei's plans. It's worth noting that while she appeared happy and relaxed in her stories, Andrei was notably absent. Whether that absence was simply because he stayed behind with the kids or whether it signifies a deeper rift remains to be seen. The weight of family ties. One of the biggest obstacles for Elizabeth in considering a move to Moldova is her family. Though her relationships with some of them have been fractured, often due to conflicts surrounding Andrei, they are still her family. And leaving the US would mean leaving behind her entire support system. Even in strained families, there's a kind of comfort in proximity. Holidays, birthdays, milestones, all of these are harder to share across continents. On the flip side, Andrei feels a similar pull toward his own family in Moldova. For years, he's suppressed his homesickness to build a life in America, but now he seems determined to give his children the childhood he remembers, surrounded by his culture, his traditions, his language. It's a classic tug-of-war that so many multicultural couples face. Whose roots should the family plant themselves in? What comes next? For now, Elizabeth and Andrei are still planning their trip to Moldova, where they will gauge what life there could look like. Elizabeth has made it clear she's willing to visit, a promising sign that she's keeping an open mind. But her trip to North Carolina suggests that she still needs time to process it all. Uprooting her family is not a decision she can make lightly, especially given how much of her own identity is tied to her life in the US. Will she ultimately agree to Andrei's plan? Or will she put her foot down and insist they stay in Florida? One thing is certain, Elizabeth is learning to listen to herself, and to prioritize her own needs alongside those of her family. And whether that means moving to Moldova or staying put, she deserves the space to figure it out. Fans react. Fans of the show have been quick to chime in on Elizabeth's recent getaway. Many applauded her for taking some me time and putting her own happiness first. Good for her, one fan wrote on social media. She deserves a break after everything Andrei puts her through. Elizabeth seems so much happier when she's not around her family drama or Andrei's attitude, another commented. Others, however, were more skeptical, suggesting that her trip could be a sign of deeper cracks in the marriage. She looks like she's checking out of the relationship, one fan speculated. I wouldn't be surprised if she decides to stay in the US without him. For now, though, Elizabeth seems content to enjoy her moment of peace, and who can blame her? A woman at a crossroads. In many ways, Elizabeth's story is relatable to anyone who has ever felt torn between love and self, between family and independence, between the familiar and the unknown. She's a woman at a crossroads, facing a future that could look very different from her present. And while Andrei's love for Moldova is undeniable, Elizabeth's love for her own life and family is just as strong. It's not an easy decision. But as she lounges on the beaches of the Outer Banks, the sun dipping below the horizon, perhaps she's finding the clarity she needs. Perhaps she's realizing that she can love her husband and herself. That she can honor his culture without losing her own. And perhaps, most importantly, she's realizing that she doesn't have to rush. For now, she can simply sip her wine, listen to the waves, and take it one day at a time.